Hello everybody, and welcome to Theory Pop, taking a refreshing look at the movies, games and TV shows you love. Today's subject is Zootopia, and we're asking the question, where does Zootopia fit in the Disney universe? Zootopia, everybody's favourite animated film starring a bunny cop and a conman fox. It was a box office smash for Disney, setting the record for their biggest ever opening weekend for an animated movie, even beating Frozen, and going on to earn over $1 billion at the box office. And with good reason. Zootopia received almost universal critical acclaim upon its release, and is currently the best rated film of 2016 according to Rotten Tomatoes. So all seems well and good for the animals of Zootopia, but one question remains that many fans want answered. How does the film fit in with the wider Disney universe? Let's be clear, not all Disney films share the same universe, but many of them do. Frozen and Tangled are set within the same world, and some theorists have even linked Tarzan to that universe. Some theorists have managed to fit an impressive 30 Disney animated films into a single shared timeline. That's impressive, but where does Zootopia fit into that? It doesn't. Movies that primarily focus on animal protagonists, such as the Aristocats, Bambi, and The Fox and the Hound, still feature human characters. But humans don't exist in the world of Zootopia. In fact, they never existed at all. One of the early trailers for Zootopia makes this clear.
In the world of Zootopia, humans never happened.
So we have to rule out any Disney film that features human characters, which is a huge chunk of the Disney back catalogue. But that does leave us with a couple of possibilities. There are Disney films that star animal characters with no appearances from humans. Robin Hood and The Lion King are two of them. Let's start with the latter. The Lion King does not feature humans at all. None ever appear on screen, and they are never mentioned by the other characters. It seems like a simple fit. The Lion King is the early history of the world of Zootopia, before animals evolved into their anthropomorphic forms and predators stopped eating prey. But there is one glaring problem with this. Primates. In Zootopia, there are no primate characters. No gibbons, no gorillas, no howler monkeys, no simians of any shape or form make an appearance in the entire movie, not even in background shots around the city. For being a mammalian city, their absence from Zootopia is very conspicuous. On the other hand, primates do appear in The Lion King. But there is a good reason for primates being absent from the world of Zootopia. They never existed in the first place. If primates as we think of them hadn't existed, this would explain the lack of humans in Zootopia's universe. Humans would never have evolved, and there would be no simian characters. This would have allowed the other species to evolve in their place. The presence of simians in The Lion King rules out a shared universe with Zootopia. But what about Robin Hood? Could this movie exist in the same universe as Zootopia? Unlike The Lion King, Robin Hood's animal characters are more human-like in their appearance and behaviour, much closer to the animals we see in Zootopia. They walk on two legs, they wear clothes, mostly, and they intermingle and don't eat each other. And unlike The Lion King, there are no primates. Just like in Zootopia, primates never existed, and so humans never evolved. There are other similarities between the characters as well. Robin Hood is a roguish thief with a heart of gold. Does that remind you of any other Vulpine characters? That's right, Finnick! Oh, and Nick, of course. Skippy is a brave, quick-to-action rabbit that doesn't want to just settle for his expected Ronin life, much like a certain bunny cop we all know. Lions fulfill the role of leaders, wolves are the security force, rhinos and elephants are the guards and police. Many animals have roles that fit their natural abilities and physical size. With Robin Hood being set in medieval England, we could assume that it takes place in Zootopia's past, which would explain the similarities in the roles particular animals fill in society, dependent upon their size and skills. But what about the scaling of the characters? Well, for the most part, Robin Hood and Zootopia keep their characters in relative proportion to their real-life counterparts, and are generally accurate to each other. Mice and rodents are very small, foxes and wolves are larger than rabbits, and the elephants tower over just about everybody. Although how the elephants actually got up that tower, I still haven't figured out. The time periods are obviously very different. Robin Hood is set in medieval England, while Zootopia is set in the present day. No, it's true. Look at this cover of Vanity Fair from Zootopia's official Facebook page. It has an article for the top entertainers of 2015. If they do take place in the same world, Robin Hood is definitely in Zootopia's past. So far, so good. But there are animals that appear in Robin Hood that don't appear in Zootopia. Reptiles and birds. Robin Hood's cast features the reptilian characters of Sir Hiss, Toby Turtle, and Captain Crocodile, and the avian characters of Lady Cluck, the old owl couple whose name I don't actually know, and the vultures Nutsy and Trigger. These characters feature prominently in the medieval tale, playing integral roles to the storyline. Zootopia does not feature any birds or reptiles. So that's it, job done, they can't exist in the same universe, right? Wrong. Though the evidence directly in the film is fairly thin on the ground, it is there if you look for it. In pop sensation Gazelle's song Try Everything, just listen to some of the lyrics.
Birds don't just fly, they fall down and get up.
Gazelle directly references birds in her song, and honestly, that lyric kind of made me think of the avian characters from Robin Hood. They don't fly, they walk, they get up, just as the mammal characters do. And we have no reason to assume that birds wouldn't have evolved as mammals did. If they hadn't, why don't we see any in the trees of the rainforest district? Why don't we hear any birdsong anywhere in the entire film, even as background noise? Sure, maybe Zootopia for some reason tries to keep birds away from the city, but this would be almost impossible to actually do. Just look at airports in the real world. They spend millions of dollars a year trying to keep runways and airspace clear of birds due to the danger they can pose to aircraft landing and taking off. And yet instances of bird strikes and the presence of birds on and around busy runways still occur. It is very difficult to prevent birds from getting where they shouldn't be, so it is highly unlikely that there would be no birds in and around Zootopia if they were unevolved. And if birds and lizards were unevolved, wouldn't predators eat them? With predators and prey living in harmony in Zootopia, the available source of protein for carnivores is limited. Foxes can't survive on only blueberries, no matter how delicious they are. Though birds and reptiles would provide a readily available source of protein to fill the void left by the prey species, we never see any indication of them being used as a food supply. But what we do see is an alternate source of that delicious protein that the predators need. In one scene in the film, a box is seen with the logo of a fast food chain called Bug Burger. According to Zootopia's directors Byron Howard and Rich Moore, Bug Burger is an insect protein fast food joint for predators. It's all ground up insect protein which they love. So insects are the primary source of protein for Zootopia's predator population. No crocodile steaks here, my friends. Looking outside of the movie itself, we find more evidence in the book The Art of Zootopia. On a side note, I recommend picking this up if you enjoyed the film. It's got some great concept art from early versions of the movie, and some of the artwork is beautiful. It's also got fascinating information on the research the production team did into making the characters and world of Zootopia. Anyway, getting back on topic, on page 28 of the book, screenwriter and co-director Jared Bush describes the world of Zootopia. He states, "Reptiles and birds and other animals do exist on this planet. We just don't go to those continents. Zootopia is a mammal metropolis. We don't see any birds or reptiles because they quite simply don't live there. They have their own places in the world. They exist in the wider world outside of Zootopia in an evolved form, just as they do in Robin Hood." So, there you have it. Robin Hood and Zootopia are set in the same universe. I think that's all there is to cover. What's that? There's another Disney film with anthropomorphic animal characters and no humans? I don't know what you mean. Fine. Let's acknowledge the elephant in the room. Chicken Little. I was really hoping to avoid this one, but hey, I gotta do the job right. So here's why Chicken Little is not part of the Zootopia and Robin Hood shared universe. First, when looking at the scaling of the characters, Chicken Little is all over the place. Now, Zootopia and Robin Hood may not be 100% accurate to the size differences between species of mammals, but Chicken Little is way off. One example is Runt of the Litter, a pig, who looks about the size of a rhino. The sizing of the animal characters doesn't fit within the rules of either Zootopia or Robin Hood. What looks to be an evolved piscine character is walking around with Chicken Little and pals, but there are no evolved fish in Zootopia. "But you quoted Jared Bush saying other animals lived on other continents. There could be fish too," I hear you cry in mild indifference. And while it is true Jared Bush doesn't specify the other species on other continents, we only have to look to Disney's official Zootopia handbook to find a clue. The Zootopia handbook has sections dedicated to each district of the city, and in the section describing the Rainforest district, there is an ad for a place that serves fish nuggets. And in the chapter listing the top dining establishments in Zootopia, there is a seafood restaurant in Tundra Town called Halibut's, which serves tuna. Fish most definitely stay in the water, at least until they're eaten. And finally, a human does make an appearance in Chicken Little. Now, before you point out that there are no human characters anywhere in the film, you are technically correct. However, a human does briefly appear on screen. Near the start of the movie, when Chicken Little first claims that the sky is falling, the water tower collapses and rolls through Oaky Oaks and bursts through a theatre. What movie was showing? Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. So no, Chicken Little... even saying the name of the film is annoying. So no, Chicken Little definitely does not fit in the Zootopia universe. Now let us never speak of that movie again. This has been Theory Pop. Thanks for watching. Hey YouTube, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the Zootopia theory. But now I have a question for you. Did it fizz, or was it flat? If you thought the theory fizzed, hop on over to Jude the Dude and press the mouse button. Or if it was all a bit flat, just give Nick the click. Hit subscribe to keep up to date with the latest theories, and I will see you in the next refreshing episode of Theory Pop.